Women find these weird habits high value and attractive in men, strange attractive habits. Leave a like on the video my love, and if you are new to the channel subscribe to receive new advice. Do this to help the channel continue to grow. Leaving a like is all I ask as a gift. Hey there, it's Pamela Raquel. Are you tired of trying to impress the ladies with the same old tricks? You know, hitting the gym, dressing to the nines, pretending to care about her favorite reality TV show? Well, what if I told you that some of your quirkiest, most unassuming habits might be the very things that make you irresistible to the fairer sex? That's right, gentlemen, today we're diving into the unexpected world of strange attractive habits. Those idiosyncratic behaviors that you might have been self-conscious about but that actually make you stand out in a sea of suave, cookie-cutter Casanovas. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but wait, aren't women attracted to confidence, charm, and washboard abs? And sure, those things don't hurt, but in a world where everyone's trying to fit the same mold, sometimes it's the little quirks, the unique edges, that catch her eye and capture her heart. So whether you are a secret stamp collector, a die-hard Dungeons & Dragons fan, or just a guy who really loves his grandma's homemade pickles, stick with me. We are about to explore the oddball habits that might just be your secret weapons in the game of love. Before we begin our discussion, if you are interested in stepping up your dating game, there's a free strategy session with one of our expert coaches waiting for you. You'll find the link in the description or pinned comment. Early bird tendencies. First up, let's talk about the surprising sex appeal of the early riser. Now, I know the idea of rolling out of bed at the crack of dawn might be as enticing as a root canal to some of you night owls out there, but hear me out. There's something undeniably attractive about a man who greets the day with gusto. Think about it, waking up early shows discipline, productivity, and a zest for life that's hard to resist. When you are up and at M while the rest of the world is still hitting snooze, you are sending a clear message: I'm a man with a plan, a purpose, and a drive to make the most of every moment. And let's not forget the practical benefits of being an early bird. You've got time to work out, meditate, or tackle that passion project before most people have even had their first cup of coffee. That kind of dedication and drive is like catnip to the kind of woman who values ambition and self-improvement. Now, I'm not saying you need to start setting your alarm for 4 a.m. and leaping out of bed with a song in your heart, but try gradually shifting your schedule earlier, even by just 30 minutes at a time. Use that extra time to do something meaningful, whether it's learning a new skill, volunteering in your community, or just savoring a quiet moment to yourself. Trust me, when she hears about your sunrise hikes or pre-dawn poetry sessions, she'll be more than impressed. She'll be intrigued, because there's nothing sexier than a man who knows how to seize the day and who isn't afraid to rock a little bedhead while doing it. Nerdy deep dives into topics. Alright, fellas, it's time to embrace your inner geek, because as it turns out, there's nothing quite as attractive as a man who's passionately knowledgeable about something, even if that something is, say, the migratory patterns of South American hummingbirds. Here's the thing, in a world of surface-level small talk and endless scrolling, a person who can hold forth on a topic with depth, nuance, and unbridled enthusiasm is a rare and precious gem. When you light up talking about your niche interests, whether it's vintage comic books or the intricacies of blockchain technology, you are showing her a glimpse of your authentic self, and that's sexy as hell. Now, I'm not suggesting you monopolize the conversation with a 3-hour lecture on the history of the Oxford comma, unless, of course, she's a fellow grammar nerd, in which case, go for it. But don't be afraid to let your geek flag fly when the moment calls for it. If you're on a date at a museum and you happen to know a ton about the artist on display, share that knowledge with gusto. If you're bonding over your mutual love of a particular book series, deep dive into the lore and the themes that make it so compelling to you. Show her that you are a man with layers, with a rich inner world that extends beyond sports scores and stock prices. And here's the best part, when you are genuinely passionate about something, that enthusiasm is infectious. Even if she doesn't share your particular obsession, she'll be drawn to the energy, the curiosity, and the depth of engagement you bring to the table. So go ahead, let your nerd light shine bright. She might just be dazzled by the glow. Using old-fashioned phrases. Gentlemen, it's time to take a little linguistic journey to the past, because as it turns out, there's something undeniably charming about a man who can sprinkle a conversation with a few well-placed old-fashioned phrases. Now, I'm not talking about going full Shakespeare on her or bursting out with Victorian-era vocabulary that requires a decoder ring, but peppering your speech with the occasional, goodness gracious, by golly, or, you look positively stunning this evening, my dear, can lend a certain vintage charm to your persona. Think about it, in a world of LOLs, raffles, and emoji-filled texts, a man who can express himself with a touch of old-school class stands out like a dapper dandy in a sea of sweatpants. It shows you've got a sense of history, a playful command of language, and maybe even a romantic streak that harkens back to a more genteel era. Of course, you don't want to lay it on so thick that you sound like a time-traveling extra from Downton Abbey, but a well-timed, "Gosh, you're swell," or, "Pardon me, dear, but I simply must compliment your radiant smile," can make her feel like a heroine in a classic Hollywood romance. And let's be real, who doesn't want to feel like Audrey Hepburn or Grace Kelly every once in a while? So go ahead, dust off those old-school compliments and vintage turns of phrase. She might just swoon at the sound of your silver-tongued sweet nothings. Preference for writing by hand. In a world of constant typing, swiping, and scrolling, there's something undeniably alluring about a man who still takes the time to put pen to paper. And no, gentlemen, I'm not talking about signing checks or jotting down a grocery list. I'm talking about the lost art of handwritten communication, the thoughtful birthday card, the heartfelt love note that no emoji-laden text could ever match. Think about it, in an age where our inboxes are overflowing with impersonal, auto-generated messages, a handwritten note feels like a rare and precious gift. It shows that you've taken the time to sit down, gather your thoughts, and craft a message that's meant just for her. It's a tangible expression of your care, your consideration, and your willingness to go the extra mile to make her feel special. And let's not forget the aesthetic appeal of a well-penned note. There's something undeniably sexy about a man with good handwriting. It suggests an attention to detail, a certain refinement, and maybe even a creative streak. Whether you're rocking a bold, architectural print or a loose, artistic scrawl, your penmanship is a window into your unique personality and style. So, gentlemen, don't be afraid to put down the phone and pick up a pen every once in a while. Whether you're crafting a heartfelt confession of your feelings or just leaving a silly doodle on a sticky note, the power of the written word is sure to leave a lasting impression on her heart, and maybe even earn you a spot in her scrapbook. If this video is hitting the right notes for you, why not give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments? And if you want more tailored advice, click the link in the pinned comment for a free 1-hour strategy call with our dating coaches. Fellas, let's talk about the unexpected sex appeal of the introspective man, specifically the man who takes the time to journal, to reflect on his thoughts, feelings, and experiences on a regular basis. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, isn't journaling just for angsty teenagers and wannabe poets? Sure, there's a certain stereotype of the navel-gazing journal keeper, scribbling furiously in a leather-bound notebook by candlelight. But the reality is, the practice of daily reflection is a sign of emotional maturity, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth that's incredibly attractive to the right woman. Think about it, in a world where so many people are content to coast through life on autopilot, never examining their own motivations or behaviors, a man who takes the time to look inward is a rare and valuable find. When you make a habit of journaling, you are showing that you are not afraid to confront your own thoughts, to learn from your mistakes, and to continuously strive for self-improvement. And let's not overlook the practical benefits of journaling. By processing your emotions and experiences on the page, you are developing a deeper understanding of yourself and your needs. That type of self-knowledge is key to building healthy, communicative relationships, the kind that go beyond surface-level attraction and into real, soul-level connection. So, gents, don't be shy about your journaling habits. Whether you are a bullet journal aficionado or a stream of consciousness scribbler, your commitment to self-reflection is a major green flag for the kind of woman who values emotional intelligence and continual growth. Keep writing, keep exploring, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. She'll be taking note. Wearing quirky socks. Alright, gentlemen, let's talk about the underrated art of accessorizing, specifically the power of a well-chosen pair of quirky socks to make a statement, spark a conversation, and maybe even win a heart. Now, I know socks might seem like an afterthought in the grand scheme of fashion and flirtation, but here's the thing, in a sea of bland black socks conformity, the man who dares to don a pair of playful, personality-packed socks is sending a clear message: I'm confident, I'm creative, and I'm not afraid to stand out from the crowd. Think about it, when you catch a glimpse of a colorful patterned sock peeking out from beneath a pant leg, it's like a secret wink, a subtle invitation to take a closer look at the man behind the fashion choice. It shows that you've got a sense of humor, a dash of whimsy, and maybe even a rebellious streak that's just waiting to be uncovered. And let's not forget the conversation-starting potential of a killer sock selection. When she compliments your rubber ducky dress socks or your lucky shamrock footwear, you've got an instant icebreaker, a chance to share a laugh and a story about what those particular socks mean to you. So, fellas, don't be afraid to let your sock flag fly. Whether you're rocking a pair of bold numerals or some cheeky cartoon characters, your willingness to express your personality from the ground up is sure to catch her eye and capture her attention. Just remember, with great sock powers come great responsibility. Choose wisely, wear proudly, and get ready to put your best foot forward, literally, in the game of love. If you've made it this far, my love, comment below with the word 100% or something else to let me know, to confirm that you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video and share it later. Let's continue. Girls do this when they don't like a guy romantically, signs a woman doesn't want you. Today we are talking about signs a girl is in love with someone else, and as tragic as this sounds, stay with me. It's good to understand these signs so you can make your next move going forward, whether you are in a relationship with her or if you are not. This video is going to give you some clarity so that you can really get your thoughts together and become the best version of yourself. My name is Anna, and stay tuned. The two of you don't talk so much anymore. Now, everyone knows that verbal communication in a relationship is very, very important. It's vital. So when this starts to break down and the two of you no longer talk, text, call, or even ask how each other's day has gone, then this is a sign that the relationship may be breaking down. She starts hiding her phone. If they start to behave more secretively around you by hiding their phone or just angling the display away from you so that you can't see it, and this is something that she never did before, then something could be going on. Now, it's quite often a bad sign when this sort of behavior starts creeping into a relationship. She is no longer intimate with you. Have you picked up on a total lack of intimacy between the both of you lately? Whatever it was that you used to do could be holding hands, cuddling, intercourse, of course, but if this no longer happens, then there's there's plenty of reasons that intimacy can fade away in a relationship, stress as an example, being a big leading cause. But think about whether or not your partner is distancing themselves from you and ask why that might be, and why they are doing this. They start leaving you on read for hours. Are you used to your partner being pretty quick to get back to you, but lately, she's starting leaving you on read for ages and sometimes failing to reply at all? If she's not interested in responding to you anymore, it could be because she has found someone else who she is in love with. They are being overly kind to you. You probably know what's normal behavior for her by now, so when things change dramatically and she starts being overly nice to you, well, it's a sign something is not quite right. She could be behaving overly kind because she feels guilty about the things that she's done, and she's trying to make herself feel better. They randomly take up a completely new hobby. If she has suddenly become really into a random hobby, you might want to be asking yourself why. If she stated she wants to get fitter and then takes up running, that's a non-issue, of course, but if she takes up some random hobby out of nowhere, it could be to have more in common with another person, or even just to see the person she's falling for more often. There is a lack of emotional intimacy. Couples are normally fairly good at sharing their emotions with each other. Have you gone from being able to discuss how you are feeling with each other to no longer having any idea how she is, or is she starting to shut you out completely? This could be another sign that she is in love with someone else, and because of this, she's getting emotional intimacy from them instead of you. Talking about the future is now a no-no. Have they started actively avoiding any conversations about your future together, something they have had no issue with in the past? Well, this could indicate that they are unsure about your relationship together, and they may be weighing up their options moving forward. She started a lot of new things. What could this mean? Well, on its own, the odd thing here or there wouldn't really mean much, but if they've started dressing up more, working out more, and going out more, then it could all be for someone else that isn't you. She started to get defensive. You could have simply asked what she got up to last night, but it somehow turned into a full-blown argument. You might start to wonder why it is that she's getting defensive all of a sudden, but it's possible that she's in love with someone else and she doesn't want you to find out. She no longer shows you any respect. Has she started putting you down, questioning your making, and what you do, maybe even taking advantage of you now? It's a sign that she no longer respects you and may not even like you the way she used to in the past. She avoids spending as much time with you. Another possible sign that she's in love with someone else is when she starts to see you less and less. Is there any reason that she's seeing you less lately? She could be busy at work or many other things in her life could be going on that she needs to go to, but if she is no longer interested in seeing you and you can't see any reason why, well, this doesn't look good for you or the relationship. She is distancing herself from your friends and family. Most people in happy relationships often end up at the very least, enduring their partner's friends and also their family. But if they've gone from happily seeing them to avoiding them at events at all costs, you may understandably start to question what is going on with them. You can just feel that something is up. Now, your gut feeling is normally worth paying attention to. If you feel like something isn't quite right, then chances are that you are right. And it doesn't necessarily mean she's in love with someone else, it could just mean that something is up with the relationship that needs to be worked on. There you have it, my lovely person. I hope this video has given you some clarity on some different signs that she possibly has fallen in love with someone else. If you have noticed a couple of these things in the video, don't worry, it could just be a case that she's not feeling up to the relationship like she used to. Every relationship goes through those patches. It's a time to sit down and talk about the issues to make sure that you guys can really compromise together and make sure things are going to be amazing for your future. If you've made it this far, my love, comment below with the word 100% or something else to let me know, to confirm that you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video and share it later. Let's continue. 13 signs she doesn't like you. It can be incredibly difficult to determine if a woman likes you or not. Maybe she's just being super friendly. Does she even have feelings? Is she interested at all? Yeah, it can be very, very confusing, can't it? Especially because women don't tend to make their feelings known until they are sure that you like them too, because they don't want to feel that rejection. Very confusing. So, to make this process as easy as possible for you, we've come up with a list of ways you can see if she likes you or not, from signs that she may show to things she may say, and things she will do. Let's dive in deep. Like and subscribe. Let's talk about communication now. A lack of communication in a relationship could indicate that the girl is losing interest in you. If she starts to take much longer than usual to text you back, or if she misses a call from you and texts you back to ask what's up instead of calling back, this is a blatant indication that the constant flow of conversation you two usually have is slowly beginning to bore her, and that she is easing slightly apart to create distance between the two of you. Now, it may be assumed that the fact that she's talking to you less often indicates that she is talking to someone else more frequently. However, this is just hearsay, so don't believe your friends when they say that she's cheating on you, and avoid approaching her with all of those gods drawn, okay? It's not necessarily bad if she simply has a lot on her mind, or if work has taken up too much of her time, preventing her from remembering to actually respond to you. But before it's too late, it's important to take note of it and check to see if everything is alright. No touch. This usually marks the last stage, but for a woman completely cuts you off physically. When she starts to distance herself from you in order to make the process less painful for her in the long run, they frequently disconnect mentally and emotionally first. So if your girl is typically very touchy-feely and enjoys those constant cuddles and kisses, this side may be very obvious to some guys. Regardless of your relationship status, a woman is not expected to sleep with you, okay? However, if you start to notice that she declines every time you try to initiate or attempt any form of physical contact, there is a very good chance that she just does not find you that attractive anymore. The canceling. There are some valid reasons for rescheduling and canceling dates, but if it comes down to, oh, I'm tired, and I'm just going to go out with so-and-so instead, this is a clear indication that she is removing you as her priority for one reason or another. This may be a sign that she's not interested in continuing the relationship, or that she's just not ready to commit to something serious. A woman who has feelings for you will feel incredibly guilty for changing plans and will almost automatically reschedule. So, if she doesn't want to reschedule or makes no effort to look for an alternative date, she's just not that interested, buddy. Third place. As soon as you start dating someone, you become the center of their universe. As you get to know each other, you become their go-to person for, well, anything, and pretty much everything. They will want to spend all of their time with you, with a few exceptions like obligations to family or work, and you will essentially feel like their top priority in life. Your go-to person is always the first to hear any good or bad news. It may be a sign that she has forgotten to tell you something, or that she doesn't really believe that you need to know. If you are beginning to learn about things from others, or worse yet, from listening to her conversations with others, then it's likely she's not as invested as you are. The texts. Texting is such a huge part of dating in today's society because of how fast and far technology has developed. So, it's important to take into consideration how she is with you over social media and anything that surrounds a phone. You are probably dealing with a situation where she doesn't like you as much as you like her if you are putting more effort into the conversation than she is, sending more texts than what she is, for example. Now, the likelihood that you will be her first choice if you are the one who sends the majority of the text is very low, but that doesn't mean she won't make you a second or third option. Attention. The most obvious indication that a girl doesn't like you is where she is concentrating her attention. This is crucial information that you must get into the headspace, okay? The most obvious indication that you are not her top choice is if she is focusing sadly more of her attention on something else than you, and doesn't seem thrilled to be spending time with you. So, pay attention to the other people in her life and how she interacts with them. If she is more engaged with them than you, then it's a sign that her feelings for you are just not as strong. Others. Women will occasionally ask you for advice as soon as they meet you, whether it will be regarding their ex-husbands, their on-again and off-again boyfriend, or another problematic dating circumstance in their lives. It's important to be understanding and offer the best advice you can. However, it's also important to remember that ultimately they have to make their own decisions. The biggest one right now is that she obviously doesn't see you as more than a friend. While out on a date, you might want to end the conversation if she starts chatting up other guys. It's likely you know that she hasn't moved on from him and that she isn't actually looking for a relationship. So, in this case, it's best to be honest with her and let her know that you are not interested in being part of the drama. Effort. When a woman is strongly attracted to a man, she won't be hesitant to cross the touch barrier, especially when the interaction enters the sexual escalation or flirting stage. But if she hasn't even attempted to break the touch barrier, chances are she's either shy or doesn't feel a connection. How can you be certain? Well, try some harmless touching of your own and observe how she responds. It's likely that you are looking at a sign of disinterest if she doesn't seem to become more engaged and interested when you gently touch her arm or hand, and if she doesn't return the favor by giving you gentle touches of your own. If that's the case, it may be best to just move on and focus your attention on someone else. That way, you won't waste any more of your time or energy on someone who just isn't that interested. Common ground. When it comes to attraction, sometimes basic sexual chemistry takes precedence over their requirement for shared interests. But it's also true that women are typically attracted to men with whom they connect and have common interests. This connection can be built through conversation and shared experiences, allowing for a deeper understanding of each other and ultimately a stronger bond. In some cases, shared interests help create the first spark of attraction. Women naturally want to find a connection with someone they have feelings for, so they will make the effort to find common ground. If she has no interest in finding common ground with you, or doesn't listen when you talk about your interests, she simply just doesn't care. Personal. Particularly for women, mystery is a crucial component of attraction. There is almost no chance that a woman will be interested in you if she isn't mystified and curious about you as a guy. When a woman finds you mysterious and is drawn into that mystery, she will be eager to find out more about you. Not caring enough to inquire about your personal life, however, is not encouraging. The likelihood that she isn't really into you in such circumstances could be high. The eyes. Eye contact makes you feel good, releases the neurotransmitter oxytocin, and gives you a peek inside the other person's mind. If the gaze starts between your eyes and only slightly lowers to mouth level before rising to scan the eyes again, they're probably just trying to be respectful. However, if their gaze drifts from eye to eye, then lower to your neck or chest before rising to the eye gaze level, that's a sign that they are assessing you from a more intimate perspective. In other words, they might just find you attractive. This could be an indication that they are interested in you, and it is worth considering if you are interested in them as well. So, if she doesn't make eye contact with you, it's the total opposite. Sorry, but she doesn't feel the same way. Excitement. When you finally make the move, a woman who is interested in you and wants to go out with you will undoubtedly show excitement. However, you might want to reconsider your choice if she hesitates, seems torn between saying yes or no, or otherwise doesn't seem overly happy about it. A happy, exciting moment that gives women the thrill of romance and possibility is when they are asked out by the guy that they want. Therefore, if she appears uncertain or says yes hesitantly without seeming overly enthusiastic about it, the chances are good that she is either not saying yes for the right reason, or she's unsure of how to disappoint you, so she's waiting out and just going along with it for now. The hints. If a woman makes comments like, "I'm just looking for friendship more than anything," or "I don't really see myself getting into a relationship right now," this is a red flag. Either she's trying to stop you from pursuing her further without being rude about it, or she's trying to let you know that she wants to hook up. Naturally, the distinction will be obvious in her body language. She is not interested if she appears uninterested while telling you this fact. She might be looking for something casual if she makes eye contact with you and leans in pretty close into your physical circle as she speaks. If she maintains a friendly demeanor and looks you in the eye, then she may be open to a romantic relationship. If she avoids prolonged eye contact and speaks in a distant tone, then it's likely that she just wants to remain friends.